Welcome to Cleta Vassal, your ultimate destination for deep dive into law, history, and current affair. I'm your host Cleta, and today we are embarking on extensive exploration of one of the most fundamental aspects of Indian Constitution, that is citizenship. We unravel the complexities of domicile, migration, constitutional provision, and landmark court cases that have shaped Indian citizenship laws. Let us dive in. Now let us start with segment 1, that is citizenship at commencement of constitution. When constitution was enacted, it laid down the foundational framework of citizenship under article 5. As that pivotal movement, citizenship was primarily governed by two main criteria. First one, domicile in India. A person must have their domicile in territory of India. Second, conditions under Article 5 to qualify as a citizen by domicile at commencement of constitution. A person must satisfy at least one of the following. First one, he is born in territory of India. Either of their parents was born in territory of India. Third one, ordinarily resident in India for not less than 5 years, immediately preceding the commencement of constitution. But what exactly does domicile mean in this context? Although constitution does not explicitly define domicile, legal interpretation consider it as a permanent home or a place where a person resides with intention of staying indefinitely. This is distinct from mere residence, which simply refers to physical living in a place without necessary intent to remain permanently. Understanding the domicile. Domicile in India is categorized in two types, domicile of origin and domicile of choice. Now first one, let us take domicile of origin. This is the domicile one is born with, typically determined by father's domicile at the time of birth. For instance, in case of Kedar Pandey versus Naren Bikram Saha was established that child domicile of origin remains until they acquire new domicile to choice. Domicile of choice. An individual can acquire a domicile of choice by moving to new location with intention to reside there permanently. This was highlighted in a landmark case Mohammad Raza Devstani vs State of Bombay, where court emphasized importance of intention to settle permanently in determining the domicile. Segment 3. Landmark cases and legal precedents. Now, there are several landmark cases have shaped in interpretation of domicile and citizenship in India. Let's look at few. Louis de Red versus Union of India. Now, this case involves a Belgian national who has been residing in India since 1937 with a Belgian passport. Despite his long-term residence, he couldn't claim Indian citizenship under Article 5. Clause 3C because he lacked the intention to reside permanently in India. Now second case which I will come up with, State of UP versus Rahmatullah. This case addressed validity of conviction after a Foreigner Act of 1946 for overstaying in India after Citizenship Act of 1955 was enacted. The Supreme Court held that since Citizenship Act did not exist at the time of his entry, his status was determined by Article 5 of Constitution, deeming him a citizen of India under specific condition. Third one, that is Ibrahim Bazir Mahawat vs State of Bombay. This case examined the constitutionality of Pakistan Control Act 1949, which allowed forcible removal of Indian citizens from India. The Supreme Court ruled that Section 7 of Act was ultra-vires beyond the power of Parliament because it effectively destroyed the right to citizenship, which can only be altered through explicit provision under Article 11. Segment 4. Special provision for migration from Pakistan. The Constitution also addressed complex issues arising from partition of India and subsequent migration between India and Pakistan through Article 6 and 7. Article 6. This article deals with right of citizenship for individuals who migrate to India from Pakistan. It categorizes migrants into two groups based on their migration dates. migrant before 19 July 1949 must have at least one of their parents or grandparents born in India as defined by Government of India Act 1935. Must have ordinarily resided in India since date of migration. B. Migrate on or after 19 July 1948. Must have at least one parent or grandparent born in India as per 1935 Act. Third one, must apply citizenship and be registered by an authorized officer. Third, must have resided in India for at least 6 months immediately preceding the application. Article 7. Conversely, this article addresses individuals who migrate from India to Pakistan after March 1, 1947. It stipulates that such individuals are not deemed citizens of India unless they return under permanent settlement arrangement and meet the criteria similar to those in Article 6. The Supreme Court in case like State of Bihar vs. Kumar Amar Singh interpreted the term migrated with Article 6 and 7. The court held that migration implies voluntarily and indefinite intention to reside in Pakistan. For instance, a woman who migrated in Karachi in 1948, obtained a temporary permit and returned to India with a short period was still considered to have migrated under Article 7, thereby losing her Indian citizenship, which was the real fact in State of Bihar vs. Kumar Amar Singh. Segment 5. Single citizenship and legal implication. Unlike countries like United States which allow dual citizenship at both federal and state levels, India maintains a policy of single citizenship for entire nation. This means that there is no separate citizenship. Every citizenship of India has the same rights, privileges and immunities across the state. This uniformity prevents discrimination and ensures that all citizens are treated equally regardless of state they reside in. Moreover, the concept of domicile remains unified across India. Although states have independent powers to legislate on matters like marriage, divorce and succession, Supreme Court clarified in Pratip Jain vs. Union of India that domicile in the context refers to intention to reside permanently to identifiable residence of specific purpose, such as admission to educational institution rather than the technical legal sense used in international law. Segment 6. Domicile vs. Citizenship. It's crucial to distinguish between domicile and citizenship. When domicile refers to an individual's permanent home and their intention to reside that indefinitely, citizenship pertains to legal membership within the nation granting specific right and responsibility. There how they differ. Domicile can be either of origin or choice. Second, relates to where person intends to make their permanent home. Third one, can change if the person acquires a new domicile of choice. Citizenship grants rights like voting, holding public offices and enjoying fundamental rights. Second, can be acquired, lost or terminated based on specific legal provision. Is not dependent on domicile. One can be citizen without changing domicile and vice versa. For instance, an Indian residing in India may have a domicile but does not enjoy fundamental rights reserved for citizens such as voting or holding high offices like president or judgmentship in the Supreme Court. Segment 7. Contemporary relevance and conclusion. Now, understanding the nuances of citizenship and domicile is vital, especially in today's globalized world where migration and dual citizenship issues are increasingly common. The Indian Constitution detailed provision ensures that citizenship granted based on clear legally defined criteria while also addressing the unique historical context of Indian partition. To summarize, Article 5 to 11 outlines foundational aspect of citizenship at commencement of Constitution and powers of Parliament to regulate citizenship. Domicile plays a crucial role in determining eligibility for citizenship by birth. Migration between India and Pakistan into the special provision under Article 6 and 7 addressing complex realities of partition. Case laws like Louis the Wraith versus Union of India and State of Bihar versus Kumar Amar Singh have further clarified and shaped the interpretation of this constitutional provision. Single citizenship ensures uniform rights and privileges across the nation, distinguishing India's approach from countries with dual citizenship system. Citizenship in India is not just about where you are born or where you are residing temporarily. It is about having permanent connection to the nation, both legally and emotionally, and being an integral part on the political and social fabric of the country. That concludes today's episode on intricate aspects of Indian citizenship and domicile. If you found this discussion enlightening, make sure to subscribe to Cletha Vassal for more in-depth analysis of legal and constitutional matters. And as always, feel free to reach out with your question and topics you would like to cover in future episodes. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay informed and engaged. Thank you very much and have a good day.